Hi everyone, I'm Coach Elise, the aerial coach at Perle, and welcome to the Circus Playbook. Today we're going to talk about a few things to just really help you kickstart your career in 2026. Don't wait until halfway through the year until you really address a few important issues and things within your portfolio to make sure that you're booking gigs, getting contracts, and achieving your dream life, your dream career. So first of all, I really want to talk about your signature brand as an artist. It's important for you to think about that. What sort of shows do you want to perform in? What sort of contracts do you want? What's your style? Is it in line with those sorts of shows? And even if it's not, that's okay. But if you really want to perform in a specific style of show, like for example, more of a cabaret palazzo style show, you need to show them that you're able to create and do actually, in fact, create that style of act that they would want to hire and cut and paste into one of their new shows, for example. So really think about these things, and you don't necessarily need to pigeonhole yourself in one style or one genre. You can definitely have multiple styles. In fact, I recommend that you have multiple styles. It's really important to be versatile as an artist, but it's also very important to be clear as to what sort of show you want to perform in. If you don't know, that's okay. Do some research, think about it, really see what styles resonate with you as an artist, what sort of styles you'd like to work towards learning, different movement styles that fit that genre. Think about these things and it'll really help you clarify your goals. It's also important to really enjoy the process while you're creating an act, because if you're not enjoying it, it's obvious. People can see that. You want that emotion to show through. And that passion for whatever style or genre of act that you're creating, you want that passion to really affect the audience. You want them to feel a certain way. So think about also what you want them to feel. Why will your act be memorable? How are you going to make sure that your act is something that is, gets work, that books gigs, that people want in their show, or that they can see would fit in their show and they would just change the music, change the costume, but they would use the general build of your act and the way you do it into their existing show. Another really important thing to look for is make sure the show that you're applying for has the specialty that you're applying with, if it's already an existing show with existing routines. They're going to want someone, for example, if it's a show that already has an aerial hoop act and a silks act, and the show is established and it's not going to change anytime soon or change drastically, make sure you're applying with those acts. Don't send off a rope video if they're looking for an aerial hoop artist, for example, an aerial hoop act. If it's a show where they're just open to any act, of course, send everything in. But also just do a little bit of research, make sure you know what they're actually looking for, if they're looking for something specific, and if they're not, at least be in line with the style or genre that they're looking for. So think about all of these little elements, because they're actually big elements, when you're applying for different shows. And it's really important to get yourself out there. Don't sit around and wait. People wait. Think, oh, I'm still doing this contract, I'm busy and I'm tired, so I'm just going to wait till this contract's finished and then I'll start looking for work. Start now. Don't wait, because you can wait for another 6 months, another 6 years even. So you need to be proactive. You need to sit down, really plan everything out and start. Make a start, look at your material, make sure everything you're sending off is good and in line with what they want, and send it out. Don't wait. Send it to everyone, not just the top 3 companies that you want to work for. Send it to other companies, because a busy and successful working artist is much more hireable than someone that's been not working or not performing for the last 5 years. So really get your foot in the door by performing with other shows that might be a similar style to the particular show that you want to perform in. And even other styles is fine too, but you want to get updated video footage, and you'll get that when you're performing. You'll be able to film your new act in a new show, and that's the best footage you can get, because then it shows that you're currently working, you're in show condition, and that act is hireable, and then that will help them see that, and it will help you book the work, because they're going to want someone that's ready to go, not someone that needs 6 months of conditioning because they've been watching TV for 6 months and not training. So it's really important to think about all these little things, be proactive, not just in your training. So a lot of people are really proactive with their training, but they're not necessarily proactive with the things they need to do to actually book contracts and get employed as a performer. So you can train all the skills till the end of time. There's no end to new skills for any discipline, which is amazing, and that's the best part. And you will always keep training, and you should always keep training, working on new skills, leveling up, upskilling. But that alone won't get you work. Are you creating new acts? And are they actually acts that are showcasing something different to what you've been doing that maybe wasn't working? Are you approaching those acts in a different way? Are those acts memorable? Have you picked a good song? Does it actually work? What's the storyline, the intention of the act? Is it subtle, but are you actually getting that point across? All these little elements are really, really important. And then once you've actually created the act, obviously making sure you're sending it out. And again, not just to the top 3 or top 4 shows that you'd like to perform in, send it out to everyone. Then you have options. You can have a look. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to accept a job, but if you don't at least try, how will you know if you're even getting any work, let alone some work? So you really need to put yourself out there. And that also goes for actual auditions in person. Now that is important. Audition skills are so vital, very intimidating for a lot of people. It really puts you under pressure as an artist, but it's also the most amazing way to learn, because if you can go out there and perform in an intimate setting with other circus artists watching and the panel of judges for whatever show it is, watching and critiquing, and it's usually done in I would say, quite a friendly way, depending on which audition. But if you can really put yourself out there and just go there 100% with your character and your performance, that is such an important skill that also translates to stage, once you get onto stage, that's not even intimidating anymore, because you've just done it in front of maybe some of your closest friends or frenemies or whatever, but that's an intimidating setting with no lighting, and it's very raw. They're right in front of you. So once you get used to doing that, it really actually elevates your abilities to perform under pressure in any setting as an artist. So not only will you then get yourself out there and really just show who you are, show what you've been working on, but you'll also build that skill set for the future. Build your abilities to perform under pressure, to perform in an intimate setting, which is often more nerve-wracking than a big arena, especially when you can see their faces or maybe hear things, hear comments or whatever. But it's so useful for you as an artist to really push yourself out of your comfort zone and do that. So look up when you've got auditions in your area. There's always ways to find these things, and make sure you get ready and you go. And obviously do your homework, prepare for each audition, make sure you've rehearsed the act, you have done character training, movement or dance training, or both, that you're able to really put yourself out there as a performer, by, you know, practicing maybe even a rehearsal setting in front of your friends, just to make yourself a bit more nervous and get used to doing the skills under that sort of pressure. All of these little things will really help you before you get to your audition. And while we're on the topic of audition technique, it's really important not to train so hard leading up to an audition that you're too tired and exhausted on the day. Because you will already be tired from the amount of adrenaline, nerves. You might not sleep that well the night before, you know, if you're stressing about it. So it's important to taper back the last couple of days before the audition. Make sure you've done enough preparation beforehand, and then try and relax, try and get a good night's sleep, try and switch off before your audition so that you can actually relax, and try and take the pressure off for yourself. Even though you might be auditioning for the show of your dreams, it's important that you not downplay it, but that you take the pressure off. Just think of it as a fun experience. I'm just going to enjoy myself. I'm just going to go for it. Have fun. I'm going to do my act. I'm going to enjoy it. I love performing, and I'm going to show them that I love performing this act. I'm going to commit fully to the character. Any dance, choreography, or character work that they give me, I'm just going to really go for it. Even if I make mistakes, I'm just going to go for it, give it 100%, and just be okay with making mistakes. Be okay with even looking silly, because that commitment and that dedication and going there and showing that you're just willing to give it 100% will immediately make you stand out above others who are showing the nerves or maybe holding back a little bit. So you really want to go, and you just want to just go for it. Go for it. It's much better to be over the top with too much, and then they can pull it back if they need to, than for them to have to sort of drag it out of you. So remember, you're a performer. So you're meant to be a bit showy, you know, you're meant to just go there with whatever character work it is, even if they ask you to be a dog. Be a dog. Commit to being a dog. Don't hesitate. And remember that you're doing circus, and circus is fun. Yes, you can create really serious acts that maybe have a political undertone or an emotional message that you want to, you know, portray to people. But at the end of the day, you're still entertaining, and you're still, you know, bringing life into whatever you're showing. So just don't be afraid to go there. Don't be afraid to have fun with it. And don't be afraid to even enjoy the audition. You know, auditions can actually be fun. If you change your mindset and you think of it as, this is just a fun training day. You know, I'm going to get to do conditioning. I'm going to get to do character work. I'm going to get to learn some choreography and then do it in groups in front of people watching. I'm going to get to perform my act in front of people watching. I'm going to meet some other artists. I'm going to, you know, perform, get a good workout done. Think of it like that, and it won't be as stressful as, oh my God, I've got to nail this, otherwise I'm not going to get the job. Because if you go in with that mindset, you might psych yourself out. So just try to enjoy it and think of it more as a fun training day workshop experience, and that will really help take the mental pressure off immediately. Also, make sure that you're looking after yourself beforehand and after. So making sure you're drinking lots of water. I love to drink a lot of water. I'm always getting comments about the constant water drinking that I do. But you should be having like 3 liters a day, especially if you're living in a hot climate like Dubai, like I am. And even if you're not, you should be drinking a lot of water throughout the day, not right before bed, otherwise you'll be running to the bathroom all night. But make sure you're hydrated days, weeks up. I mean, you should be hydrated anyway, but make sure you're making the effort to drink enough water, a lot of water leading up to the audition. Stop drinking water a couple of hours before bed. You'll sleep better. And that's the same with food. Make sure you're looking after yourself. Eat properly. Don't be on a strict diet where you're trying to drop a few kilograms before the audition. It's better just to eat healthy. Make sure you're having enough protein, enough carbohydrates for recovery, enough vegetables, vitamins even. I mean, I like to take some vitamins like fish oil, glucosamine, vitamin B, multivitamins. I like protein powder as well. I like 1 scoop a day. I have creatine as well, once a day, 1 scoop. And that helps with the lactic acid buildup as well, especially for conditioning, which they often make you do in certain auditions. You might have to do a chin-up or leg lift or a few other conditioning drills so they can see. So yeah, I take those vitamins, and also before bed, you can take melatonin and magnesium, and I find that's helpful as well. Don't take too much, just take the recommended dose and test it out. Don't try a new regime the night before the audition. Test it out a few weeks before, see how it works for you, see if it helps your sleep. Try and take the vitamins in the morning, not at night, because it might give you a hit of energy. So first thing in the morning after you've had your breakfast, make sure you eat breakfast. Make sure you eat consistently the day before the audition, and stop eating a couple of hours before you go to sleep, because you will sleep better. Then in the next day, even if you feel sick with nerves, hopefully you don't, but if you do, either way, try and eat breakfast. Don't skip, your meals, because you'll be lacking that energy that you need to get through often a very long day. So I would recommend that you have at least, eggs on toast, something simple that's got a bit of protein, carbohydrates, just to give you some energy. Pack snacks for your audition, because it could go for hours. You don't know, you might get a meal break, you might not. But either way, you want to have some muesli bars, things that you can sort of eat quickly that'll give you that glucose hit and a bit of energy. During the audition, you could pack a peanut butter sandwich, something that doesn't need refrigeration. A banana is good as well, maybe an apple, just things you can eat quickly that will give you some energy and fuel you. Make sure you also bring water, at least a 1.5 litre water bottle, because again, you'll be thirsty, you'll be sitting around. Even if you're not thirsty, you need to drink so that you don't get the brain fog. And the same with the eating. Have some snacks, some nuts. Just make sure no one's allergic in the space, allergic to nuts, because that can be a thing as well. But really just make sure you've got some sustenance to get you through the day. Make sure you bring warm clothing in case you're sitting around, which you often might be. And try and look nice, try and look presentable. Don't roll out of bed and go. Put on some makeup or do your hair. Just wear something simple that's maybe black, something that doesn't look too, you're in training clothes, but you want to still look like, you're a bit polished, a bit put together. So think about what you're going to wear. Plan everything and get everything ready the day before, and make sure you allow yourself extra time in the morning. This is so important when you're going to an audition. You'd be surprised how many artists don't get there with enough time. They get there late, or they don't account for traffic, or getting lost, or not being able to find a parking spot. Sometimes it's in a weird, place. So you want to make sure you allow enough time for all of these things that can go wrong to go wrong. Like don't aim to arrive the second that the audition actually starts. You want to be there early. You want to warm up. Please warm up. You'll perform better, and you'll significantly reduce your risk of injuries, and you'll be there ready to go when they want you. And because running in late, not only does that not look good, but it also stresses you out. You'll be already frazzled, not focused. You'll just be like, oh my God, So take the time, make sure you're really early, get in a good mindset. Do a little bit of, with your warm-up, even think of some breathing exercises, almost like a meditation, just to really connect your mind to your body. That way you'll be in the zone and ready to just go there for whatever they throw at you. And that's the same with performing. When I warm up, a lot of the time it's actually for my mind as well as for my body. It really puts me in a good zone, that 5-10 minute focus and connecting my mind to my body and what I'm doing really helps just remove everything else that might be going on in your life, brings you back to the focus of what you're doing will slow your breathing down and your heart rate down a bit so that you can actually perform without being erratic, being controlled and focused in the moment, and just really be able to go there with your performance without panicking. Because, you can panic. Sometimes the head wanders away, and, if you're not focused in a zone, it's easy to have little thoughts pop into your head that can almost psych you out. It's almost a form of self-destruction that people have, because we're our own worst critics. I mean, it's bad enough that it's a competitive industry, but artists in general are very, they're perfectionists, and they want to just make it perfect, which is great, but it can also be very self-destructive if it's going the wrong way. So you want to channel those thoughts into also learning how to just clear the head and get rid of those thoughts, and only have positive thoughts, and just really 100% focus on what you're doing, to the point that you're actually just thinking about what you're doing. There's no other thought like, oh my God, they hate it, or oh my God, he's watching with a judgmental face. There's none of that even. When you're really in a zone, all you're really thinking about is the performance, how you're feeling, how you want them to feel with what you're doing, and that commitment, and with the intention that you're bringing to your act and your character. And that will really translate when you can get into that zone, get into that mindset. And that mindset is so important, and learning how to clear your head under those stressful conditions, not just for shows, but for auditions. And to be able to do that, even if you're going through something bad in your personal life where, you're not in a good headspace, to be able to learn how to clear your head and really get in that zone is so important. And it does take time. But you can really help that process speed up with consistent meditation, even just 5 minutes a day, time away from your phone, just time to just breathe, connect with your body, making even a journal to just clear your head of things that are stressing you out. Doing that leading up to any big event, or just in general, will really help you learn how to connect your mind to your body, and then you'll get used to being able to do that faster. So you can warm up, get in a zone, everything's activated and warm, you're ready, you're full of energy, and then you can just go and give it 100%. So I think at the end of the day, these little things will make a big difference to your career, and they're very important. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But if you start already with these things in your mind, when you go into 2026, you'll have a different approach to your career and your training. So I really want you to think about these things, try and implement them. Remember to not only connect with yourself and your mind and your body with what you're doing, but to put yourself out there. Put yourself out of your comfort zone. That is not easy to do, but it's really important for any industry, especially for those stepping on stage. You need to be able to put yourself out of your comfort zone as often as you can, so that it's almost just like muscle memory, and you're on stage and you're on stage. It doesn't matter what else is happening. Boom, you're going to go there 110%. But start to really work on that as well, especially in the early stages of your career, and to build your career, build your self-confidence as a performer by making yourself really receptive to challenge, to uncomfortable situations. Just go for it. It's okay to make mistakes. That's fine. That's part of the process. And if you're not making mistakes, it means you're not pushing yourself to grow. It means you're staying in your little comfort zone, in your bubble. You need to push yourself, really allow yourself to grow, not just with the skills that you're working on and even the acts that you're creating. Allow yourself to grow as a performer. Perform styles of acts that you might not necessarily be comfortable with. Perform acts where you're not hiding behind an apparatus. Work on character work where you're on the ground and it's just you without choreography even, just embracing a particular genre or concept, that's very difficult for a lot of people. But once you can actually start working on these skills, you will grow as an artist. And when you are working with an apparatus, it'll be so much easier to really take that intention and take your act to the next level as well. So really start to think of these things. 2026 is almost here. Embrace it. Don't let your limiting beliefs hold you back. You're just going to go for it, out of your comfort zone. Put yourself out there. Get proactive. Dominate. I hope that helps, and I'll see you soon. Bye.